Don't tell your husband that I hate him.
Yeah, I hate your husband. He's a blowhard. I mean, on and on about my husband. It's like, this is not what I expected.
But then why did you have to write her an apology letter?
Because I think I had to apologize for telling my husband when she actually said, I think that was part of it.
But then what happened? So she told you all this shit. You
waited.
previously promised to keep it in confidence,
Correct.
but once you knew it, you felt you couldn't keep it in confidence.
I waited for like 2 weeks, and I just thought, this is fucked up. I'm going to prioritize that over telling my husband.
So you tell your husband, and then does he talk to her? And I think that's what happened. Well, how does she know that you told your husband? I thought he talked to her and was like, you might not like me, but you're in my house, sort of thing.
Again, we've gone on a real sidetrack here.
Welcome back to Mommy Issues with Luca Zelnick. We think will be the name of the podcast. We do not know yet. Mom, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for being here with me. Thanks for doing it today.
Nice to see you again, Lucas.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very good. Anything you want to talk about before we jump in, or you want to get right into it?
I like to dive in.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Hello, Mrs. Zelnick. I need advice on how to deal with my sister's boyfriend. They've been together since 2015, and I was out of the country then. So by the time I met him, he was just fully moved into my family's home. In my opinion, he has very embedded misogyny, and he does not really view women as intelligent, capable beings, and will just crave validation from, men he views as smart or intellectual, and will
Gotta meet this guy, by the way.
just ignore women in the conversation. So he and I have gotten into a few fights. The most recent one was when my family was visiting me for my graduation, and he and I got into what started as just a silly little disagreement about whether or not your bladder muscles are strengthened or weakened by holding in your pee. Turns out I was right, but, clearly a very high stakes issue, and neither of us actually had any personal knowledge. And after the conversation had gotten really unpleasant and uncomfortable, I said over and over, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And he just kept going. And my sister was literally in tears next to us. So things like this will happen, and he's just can be very rude to my mom, never my dad. And he'll even speak to my sister disrespectfully at moments, which is just so upsetting. But I could use some help on how to talk to him in a productive way and try to prompt a little change there. I've tried to kind of bring things up with my sister here or there, but she's just incredibly defensive of him. So any advice you have would be much appreciated.
That was a lot, that question. And boy, I had so many reactions when you were talking about that and how unpleasant that is. And it stirred up so many different things at so many different levels. Okay, here goes. I'm going to dive in.
Okay,
right?
Go for it.
In no particular order, off the top of my head, not being very coherent. First, when somebody's an asshole, it's really hard to turn them into not an asshole. So I love the fact that you want to consider this a teaching moment, and you're going to help him out, and you're going to teach him the error of his ways. He just sounds like a Luddite asshole, and I suspect you won't be able to teach him the error of his ways. That was my first reaction. Do you want to comment on that, or
no? Keep going.
Keep going.
I want to respond to everything that you have to say.
Okay. The next thing I would say is a little judgmental, which is if your mom isn't standing up for herself, and if your dad isn't protecting your mom in a situation where the boyfriend is being insulting or dismissive, what's that about? One, your mom should be standing up for herself. Forget about your sister. So if he's rude to your mom and she thinks that's okay, and if he's rude to your mom in front of your dad, that's also telling me something that's not good. And doesn't surprise me that your sister's in a relationship that I would probably describe, abusive is too strong a word because I don't know enough about it and we haven't had a big, lengthy conversation, but in a situation where she was not being respected. So Things start in the home. You learn patterns in the home. I don't know how your dad treats your mom. Would you describe your dad in any way as somebody who maybe treats your mom not as an equal? Question mark. And then are you very close to your sister? If you're very close to your sister, I think you can sit down and say once, I'm trying to get along. I don't like him, and these are the reasons I don't like him, and now I'm going to hold my tongue. Do you need to be in situations like that? If you don't like the guy, why find yourself in a room with him? He's not going to change, and you're going to repeat this pattern. And he likes to goad you. He's enjoying the fact that he's making you uncomfortable and then engaging you in that conversation, and you are rising to the bait. Is that the expression, rise to the bait? Rise to the something?
Taking the bait?
Taking the bait 100% of the time. Don't take the bait. Walk away. And nothing will infuriate him more than not being taken seriously. Don't take him seriously. He's not worth it. Those are some of my thoughts.
My first reaction was, first of all, it's amazing to hear you give advice you would never listen to in real life. You're like, tell your sister what's an issue and then hold your tongue. You holding your tongue, not in a million years. You would tell the sister what you find it to be an issue with it, and then you'd tell her the next time, and then the next time, and then you'd tell him to his face.
Yeah, that's true. And it still wouldn't help.
No, it wouldn't help.
No, it doesn't help.
Second reaction is, I do want to know, does holding your pee strengthen or weaken your bladder? Can we look that up, Gabe? I'm just curious. I don't know why either of you had strong opinions about this going in. That doesn't feel like a commonly known fact to me. No, holding your urine does not strengthen your bladder. It can, in fact, weaken it over time.
So he was right.
No, he didn't. She just said they were arguing about whether, and that she was right. So that means that it was her perspective.
I thought I heard her say that she said it does strengthen your bladder. And
No, I think that was his perspective, that it strengthens your bladder, and she said she was right. So
okay.
It weakens it. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of a valuable aside, but don't hold in your pee.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
As for like it's interesting because without getting too into detail, we've had a family situation with with a significant other who was kind of causing beef in the family. Mm-hmm. And I think it's fair that we could talk about it a little bit without getting too into it. Mm-hmm.
It was when your dog brought home that other dog that none of us liked, remember?
Sure, exactly.
Yeah,
That's a good way of anonymizing it.
Yeah.
So we had a significant other in the family who didn't get along very well with the family. And here's the only thing that you said where you're like, why is the mom not sticking up for herself, or why is the dad not sticking up for the mom? I feel like there were a couple issues with that significant other where they were kind of rude, and then we were just sort of like flabbergasted that it was happening. So none of us really stuck up for anyone because we were all just like, is this really happening right now? Because it's kind of awkward. So it's not, I think it's harder. It's not as easy done as said. It's easier said than done, put in the way that people, it's harder done than said, or it's easier said than done. But I feel like we had kind of some awkward dinner table conversations. And I remember one in particular that got like really heated where she spoke really rudely to Dad.
Right.
Do you remember this? Like sort of to his face? I certainly remember her saying like, I don't like your dad to all of us.
Right.
As though we had all like established a rapport.
Well, worse, I remember thinking the first time she told me that, I said to Daddy later, do you think she was thinking I'd say, oh my God, you're right. I'm going to divorce him.
Yeah,
you are right.
She did that to me too. And I was like, what do you think? We're all going to be like, oh my God, save us from our own dad.
Did you say that to her or no?
No,
we all had that same, right?
No, I did not say that to her. This is our running joke with my mom is that every time we think a really socially inappropriate thought, she goes, well, you should have said that to them. Did you say that? No, I probably lost my patience for this person. As you know, I'm pretty like conflict averse. So I think like she had beef with you and then she had beef with Dad. And then like, because at first it was beef with you, the significant other, because she like, there was like a letter written. You wrote her a letter. She wrote you a letter. Someone wrote someone a letter expressing their issues Do you remember this?
I don't remember the letter. We had to write an apology letter to
That's
this
what it
person.
was.
Yeah.
So what was that all about? You went out to dinner with her one-on-one at one point. You were trying to like build coalition, and the dinner was like sort of a disaster. Is that what happened?
The dinner was a disaster. Oh, I think this is it. Because during the dinner, she said to me, "Can I tell you something that you can't tell your husband?" So, you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, you're trying to bond with this person who
So in your head, you're like, no fucking way. I'm obviously going to tell my husband whatever you're about to say.
No, I didn't think that, because had I actually thought that, I would have said, sorry, that doesn't work for me. I actually thought, whatever it is, how bad can it be? Sure, you can tell me
Sure, like
something.
maybe she'll tell me something personal about her
exactly.
that could be like a woman to woman.
Exactly. I have something like, 6 toes or something crazy like
God.
that. Okay. So I thought, okay, whatever it is. But then it turns out when she wanted to keep me the confidence, do you remember what the confidence was?
Don't tell your husband that I hate him.
Yeah, I hate your husband. He's a blowhard. On and on about my husband. It's like, this is not what I expected.
But then why did you have to write her an apology letter?
Because I think I had to apologize for telling my husband when she actually said, I think that was part of it.
But then what happened? So she told you all this shit. You
waited.
previously promised to keep it in confidence,
Correct.
but once you knew it, you felt you couldn't keep it in confidence.
I waited for like 2 weeks, and I just thought, this is fucked up. I'm going to prioritize that over telling my husband.
So you tell your husband, and then does he talk to her? And I think that's what happened. Well, how does she know that you told your husband? I thought he talked to her and was like, you might not like me, but you're in my house, sort of thing.
Again, we've gone on a real sidetrack here. I don't remember, but
I think it's all relevant because it comes back to, because I think it's easy to say like, well, if you have a significant other in the house who's being an asshole, then it's just as easy to shut them down because there's more of you than there are of them. But like in our case, like this was, our family member really loved this significant other. Mm-hmm. And so, and he was pretty like protective of her at the time. Mm-hmm. And personally, I just didn't really want to rock the boat. The only time I decided I was like ready to rock the boat a little bit was she like wouldn't really do things for or hang out with my sister. And that was when I was like, okay, this is kind of like beyond the pale for me, because my sister during this time needed, like, we were all sort of staying in this house together and it was COVID. And like when you're staying in a house with someone who's like has special needs, severe special needs, and she's living there, everyone's got to kind of like pitch in to some regard and either like spend time with her or just be kind to her, or, like things are needed and not everyone can care for her all the time, but she needs constant oversight. And we weren't really in a position to all be offering, and we all had different job schedules and what have you. And she wouldn't really like pick up any slack. And that was, and my girlfriend at the time was picking up a lot of slack, and I was picking up a lot of slack, and my brother was picking up a lot of slack, and she was just like totally like, I'm out. And that was when I was like, all right, well, you're kind of an asshole for this one.
I know stories of people who marry. I mean, your sister's not married yet. I don't mean your sister. I mean the caller's sister has not married this guy. Let's give him a name. What's his name?
The guy?
Yeah. Let's call him something.
Chuck.
Okay. So your sister's not married to Chucky yet.
Okay.
But I do know situations where...
But 2015 sounds pretty serious. That's a 10-year relationship.
Yeah. I do know situations where somebody comes into the family that permanently alters for the worse the dynamic. Where, I mean, I don't know if you're close to your sister, but this could mean that your relationship with your sister is forever changed, and you're going to have to do what works for you. And she may choose to be with this person for whatever reason, or it might take her 20 years to figure out he's an asshole. But unfortunately, in our family situation, we got lucky because the person is no longer part of our lives. The person you were referring to.
Yeah.
But when that person is part of your life, you have to figure it out because they become part of the family. So what strategies?
I feel like it also depends on what your history is with your sister.
Sibling, yeah.
Like, because I feel like in that situation, I had a fair amount of credibility with my brother because I really don't talk shit too badly on people, especially if he's happy. And from the beginning, I was supportive of the relationship. So eventually, when I got to the place where I was like, I don't know, this is kind of getting to a place where like it's hard to be on board. I think he actually seemingly really listened to that, because I withheld judgment for like well over a year and just kind of like watched a lot of things unfold. And even when you guys were kind of beefing with this person, I withheld judgment because I was like, well, you know, you beef with my brother too, so
we're the common denominator, basically,
Well,
is what you were thinking. Come on, come clean.
I thought it's possible that I don't ever try to give you too much credit for being reasonable.
Said differently, I don't think that
I blame you when there's
go.
conflict, because I don't think you guys are easy people to get along with necessarily. Wow. But even in this case, I have to give it to you. This was really not your fault. But I think we let it go on. It was brewing for quite a while before we did anything. And then it just kind of got to a place where like everyone had to say something. So I would say if you haven't said something yet, then no, and you don't typically say things to your sister, I think you have a lot of power. And if you have said something before and you typically say a lot of things to your sister, then you don't. And either way, you should make your decision of where you stand with your sister if she ignores you, which is the most likely outcome. In my opinion, I think the most likely thing to happen is that someone picks a significant other who they want to be with, even if it's not healthy, and they do that until they're shown an overt, too much of a reason to get out of it. I think people get all kinds of signs to get out of a thing and ignore them because love is powerful, and so are the unhealthy mechanisms that cause people to be in unhealthy relationships.
Correct.
So I would say, depending on your history with your sister, you might have one powerful interaction ahead of you, or you might have already played that card.
And if it's painful to watch, I would just remove myself from the situation. There's no reason you have to go.
Yeah, you got to decide if you're down to be around them and
right,
how
exactly.
much you value your relationship with your sister. But it's worth saying something at a certain point once it gets kind of
crazy. And when
you
say he'd already moved into your family house when you came back from traveling, he actually lives with your parents and your family?
Well, yeah, that's a question mark.
Yeah.
But when everyone's under the same roof together, it's tough to...
Yeah, but I mean, how old is your sister? They're still living at home with mommy and daddy? That tells you something. Does he not have a job like Lucas? Oh, wait, I mean, is he a stand-up comic by any chance? If he's a stand-up comic and he goes to work every day, then
it is a weird timeline, because I'm like, how old are you such that...
Yeah, exactly.
That he'd have been living at the house at 2015. Because let's say he was like a recent college grad in 2015. That would make him quite old now. That would make him like 32 now.
Right.
So maybe it was like they've been together since 2015, but maybe that was high school and now she went traveling more recently and then they moved in. I don't really know. But point is, you probably want to say something, and then after that, you got to pick a path
that works for you. And it's heartbreaking.
That doesn't cause a ton of conflict.
But by the way, I have seen both of my boys along the way be in relationships and by the way, I can own my own relationships that were not healthy when I was in them, and I can go back and look at them. And I've seen both of my boys be in relationships that I thought, wow, I hope that doesn't last, because that's not healthy and it's not supportive and it doesn't look good. So, as a parent, you also, as a sibling, it's a different relationship, but as a parent, you're also looking at...
Yeah, and you've never said anything to me.
Is that true?
I don't think you have.
Okay, good. Whew.
But maybe you had trust that I would sort it out on my own.
There was one person that one of you was dating, I won't say who, and I remember saying to your father all the time, oh my God, he's going to marry her. What are we going to do? We can't. And he would say to me, one day at a time. It's not going to happen, but it's easy to catastrophize.
And did that situation work itself out?
It did.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So then it's all good?
All good.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. But that's a hard one. My heart goes out to you. And I mean, the whole dynamic, the way you described the mother and the father, the whole thing is...
Well, I hear the boyfriend as more of like a hero in a story of kind of bitchy women who won't stop nagging him and trying to talk.
Huh?
I just think she's described this boyfriend as sexist, but I think when a woman is just yap, 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 it's like you reach a certain point as a man where you go, well, you don't have credentials. You're not a man. So, you know,
yeah, but why
I don't
use
care what the
words when he
facts
can
say.
just take his fist? I mean, I don't understand.
Yes. Have you asked the boyfriend if he'd consider getting physical with you and your sister?
Yeah,
that might be able to help the
would be good,
situation.
yeah.
Because then it's like, are you really going to have an argument over, you know, bladder control with a guy that might hit you if he realizes he's wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're the boyfriend listening to this, I would say be more physical because you can resolve issues. You don't have to
Because you're
talk.
bigger.
Yes.
Yeah. Your brain isn't just bigger, your fists are
You're
all...
big and strong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. I hope everybody knows we're kidding. I found that question actually a little upsetting.
Upsetting? Why?
Yeah. Because I feel for the sister, I feel for both sisters, and it just seems like a whole bad family dynamic. I'm kind of at the risk of asking if she is triangulated, which is also a bad thing. I'm curious to know if she's talked to her mom or her dad about this. Do you observe this? What do you think? Do you think Chuck is good for my sister?
What about your sister?
Let's talk about my sister.
What about relationships she's been in or like nasty divorces?
Right. What's the question?
Well, I don't know. What did you think in those situations? How did you handle it?
Here's what I'm going to say. My sister married somebody who's very, very nice. When they got married, I knew it wasn't going to last.
Really?
I think I've always wanted to do one of those game shows. You know, I've always wanted to do a game show. And I actually pitched this to somebody once where there's a panel. There are 4 judges. An engaged couple or a dating couple comes on and they tell us about their story and their dynamic and we observe them. And then we get to vote on whether or not they should get married or they should break up. Don't you think that's a good reality show?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you 10 times out of 10, I can predict which marriage is going to last and which one isn't.
You think you can?
I know I can.
Have you had any surprises in either direction?
We once went to a wedding years ago, and it was a destination wedding, which I am not a fan of.
Yeah, destination weddings are fucking crazy.
Yeah, okay.
What, I'm going to spend $10,000 so that I can watch you get married to someone that's a mistake?
There you go.
Yeah.
So we went to a destination wedding. And on the flight home, we were seated next to other people that we had met at the wedding who we did not previously know. And I'm not proud to say this, but we spent the entire return flight discussing the over-under on how long the marriage would last.
And is it over?
Oh,
already?
and by the way, you did that once too.
I did that once?
Yeah.
No. I didn't do that. You're talking about my brother made a bet on a marriage?
That he officiated?
Yes.
Yeah. So we made a bet on the way home and about how long the marriage would last. There wasn't a single person on that plane that thought that marriage was going to last. And whoop, weren't we right? Okay? Didn't last.
How long did it last?
Lasted longer than we thought. I don't think I won any money on that, but I think it lasted like 6 or 7 years, and I didn't think it would last that long.
Oh, okay. Do I know these people?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Can't think of anyone.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised still. Like, I think a fair number of couples that got together at Williams with me are already divorced.
Married and divorced.
Married and divorced. I know of at least 2 that I can think of.
Wow.
Where they got married and divorced
right out of college?
No, they were like together all through college and then together out of college and then got married, I would say like maybe 4 or 5 years after college. So by the time they got married, they'd been together 9-10 years, divorced within a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they have kids? I hope not.
No. Like, didn't even get there.
And did you talk to any of them about what
I'm not really close with either of these couples, and if I were, I probably wouldn't be talking about this on a podcast.
Right.
One of the couples, there was an affair, like right off the bat.
Okay.
From what I hear, like the woman had an addiction and went into recovery and started fucking one of her sober buddies.
Oh, it was the woman who cheated.
The woman cheated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then...
As one does.
yeah. I mean, if you're getting into recovery,
yeah.
I
all
feel
bets
like
are off.
anything that keeps you sober is good. So maybe if it's dick that keeps you sober, then that's just what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I think not only did she cheat, but she also left him.
Oh.
And then maybe even stayed with this guy that she met.
Okay. I'm sure that's going to last.
Yeah.
And the other
well,
one?
you know, sober relationships. What do they say?
They always last, yeah.
They say it's like two garbage trucks crashing in the middle of the night, all spilling out, and then two people getting together, picking the trash apart and deciding whose trash was whose.
Did you just make that up on the spot?
No.
I've never heard that.
That's like an AA phrase about
whose trash is whose?
Whose trash is whose, about like two newly sober people
I've never
getting
heard
together.
that.
The other AA phrase about two newly sober or getting with someone in AA is the goods are odd, but the odds are good.
Yeah, that I've heard.
You've heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess it's easy to get laid in AA. I don't know. I've never been in AA. I don't have a problem. I could stop anytime I want. I just love using substances. But for those idiots who don't have any willpower or any self-respect, who are in AA,
you might want to cut this part too.
What?
I'm not sure.
Idiots?
Yeah, that part. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We don't have to cut it, Gabe. You could just say that I'm kidding, and I think all addicts are beautiful, and it's a disease.
It is a disease, actually.
Yeah. So that was one of the couples that got divorced.
Right.
And then the other one, I think, was more a situation similar to the one that happened in our family with the quick divorce.
That was also an affair.
Was that ultimately an affair? Did we confirm that?
100%.
Oh, okay.
But they'd only been married like 8 months.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
We were all at the wedding. Everyone was like, this isn't going to fucking last. And the wedding was like, it was like all the wedding speeches were so bad. Like no one seemingly loved the guy.
Yeah.
Like every wedding speech was like, no one said a nice thing about this guy in the wedding
including his
speeches.
parents.
Yes.
Including his parents.
Yeah, they were like, he was always kind of a piece of shit, but it seems like he's happy now.
Right.
That was like kind of the vibe of all the wedding speeches.
Do you think if you did a survey of wedding speeches, that would be a predictor of whether or not the marriage lasts?
Well, I did a wedding speech at my friend's wedding. And
Destination wedding.
Also a destination wedding, which was a whole, thing. But I said this and I meant it. I said, because I just come from this wedding where we were all talking shit. It was like the same summer.
Right.
And I think the friend's wedding who I was going to, I think everyone believes that they'll stay together for a long time.
Right.
And I said, it's, having come from New York City and the world we come from, it's refreshing to go to a wedding and to legitimately think these two people are going to stay together. And I said that.
Okay.
And they're still together. But I don't know if I have such a good read because, again, I'm kind of naive with this shit. I'm like, well, if you're getting married,
oh God,
feels hard to believe you're going to get divorced.
Really?
Every time someone gets divorced, I'm always surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's kind of charming.
It just feels like crazy to get out. It's like you got to, first of all, I won't even book a doctor's appointment. Never mind like a lawyer and a fucking.
Got it.
It's just so much like shit you have to go through. I'm like, can we just stay married but not be together? Like that, I would rather do that than be
Or
divorced.
how about not get married in the first place?
Yeah, or that.
Yeah.
But I'm like the financial hassle, all of it. It's like to unwind a marriage feels and you have kids sometimes. It's like these people must fucking hate each other.
Okay, don't you have friends who have girlfriends, and when they're in the room together, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're either bickering, or one of them is not being respectful of the other, or one has a great sense of humor and the other one is deadpan. I mean, don't you look at couples and you just think?
I have a couple couples that I can think of where I'm like, I feel like kind of a overt tenor of like one of these two people doesn't really fuck with the other one.
Right,
for sure.
Exactly. So in that case, if that couple got married, what would you think? You'd think they worked out all their problems? Or would you think, yeah, that marriage is never going to last?
Yeah, I guess.
Or you just don't even follow that thread. You don't pull that thread.
Well, no, you're causing me to be introspective here. I guess so far of my friends that have gotten married, I think everything's going to last. Except for one that I just don't feel like I have enough context on the relationship. But at least of my Williams friends that are getting married, none of them have gotten married, but two of them have scheduled weddings that are coming up in the coming weeks. Mm-hmm. I believe in both of those relationships lasting.
So
if they don't, you can quote me that I was naive.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So the couple that got divorced that we were taking odds on the plane home, they had come to our house for brunch like maybe 6 months before. I can't remember. I think they were already engaged. They came to our house for, breakfast or brunch or whatever, and however long they spent. And then when they walked out the door, the first thing I said to Daddy was, there's no way they're going to make it to the altar. I mean, it was so obvious to me.
Because they
at
fought
brunch.
with each other the whole time?
They weren't fighting in the slightest bit. They had nothing in common. Everything she said, he didn't understand. Everything he said,
didn't
she
understand
didn't
or
understand.
disagreed with sort of.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, they got along beautifully, but they were like this. I mean, everything.
Oh, I know who these people are.
There you go. So
that lasted 6 or 7 years?
Yeah,
huh.
Maybe longer. And they were together before that. But and they're now both happily married to other people.
Right.
Could not be happier.
Right.
But it was just a mismatch. I mean, sometimes you get yourself into a situation that's a disaster, sounds like maybe a man who demeans and makes fun of and disrespects. This was not that situation. They were two spectacular people. They just didn't fit together.
Do you know what's interesting is I feel like because you guys stayed married, I would see it as a huge personal failure if I got divorced.
That's interesting that you say that, because in our family, no one's ever been divorced. And then my sister got a divorce, and I think that's how my dad saw it.
Really?
Yeah. I think he thought, holy shit, we've never had a divorce.
Your dad was like, it's called cheating. Look it up.
Wait, you lost me there.
He was like, don't get a divorce, just cheat.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
He probably would have said that.
Yeah.
But I get that. But you know what? As somebody who's in a long-term marriage, and I will stay married for the rest of my life, if you're not happy...
A lot of confidence there. Don't act like it's fully in your control.
Good point. No, he likes his money. I told him, if we get a divorce, I'm going to take... I don't even want it, but I'm going to take every penny he's got. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not happy, you shouldn't stay together just to prove a point. And also, I think that when you're not happy in a marriage and the dynamic is ugly, then it has a profound impact on the kids, and it has an impact on the relationships they then forge. So I sometimes wonder if, having seen us married, and by the way, if you asked your brother, he'd probably tell you we were miserably married, not happy together.
Well,
why did we stay
it's
together?
interesting because I was going to say I've seen the same information cause people to draw wildly different conclusions. Like I've had friends that would say the same thing because their parents got divorced. They're like, because I know what the divorce did to my family,
stay together
I have no
cost.
interest in doing anything other than staying together. And then I've also seen people say what you were about to say, which is because I saw two people stay together in moments that maybe were really, really trying or they shouldn't have, then I think divorce is the answer if you're not feeling it, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Which brings me back to something you said, I think on an earlier podcast, which is, the only thing you can get everything else, but the only thing you want is the one thing you can't have. Which
is what?
In other words, my parents got a divorce they shouldn't have, or my parents didn't get a divorce they should have.
Right. You just draw No, but I drew the positive conclusion where I was like, I grew up in a family where this was also my reaction, but shit was going down in our family all the time growing up, but I did a pretty good job of ignoring it. Or being in denial about it.
Agreed.
And as a result, it was a pleasant experience for me. And so I guess what I'm saying is
in fact, it was
hide
horrible.
your problems for the kids. And then you can give I don't know what the point of life is once you become a parent, because the point of life when you're not a parent is just to be happy and optimize your own shit.
Right.
And then I guess once you become a parent, that's not necessarily the point of life anymore. Sometimes the point of life is to suffer so that your kids can be happy. Maybe for some people. For you, what was the point of life?
You mean once I had kids, my whole life was obliterated?
Well, I don't think you're necessarily the type of person who is driven by a personal purpose. I don't think you're the person who is I want to become the blank.
Right.
And it's going to be me, and it's going to be, Wendy is going to be this.
Mm-hmm.
You're
sure,
but you're a person who you value relationships, and then once you had kids, you valued that very greatly, and then once your daughter was all, retarded and stuff, that was probably took a toll on you and changed your priorities a little bit. But I would say that's got to have changed you, is all I'm saying.
Well, life changes you. Everything about your life changes you.
Yes.
And as I've said to many women on both sides, like when I got pregnant with Cooper, I was working full time. And I said to my boss, I'll be back in 3 weeks. Keep my chair warm. I'm going to pop this baby out, and then I'm coming back to work. I couldn't have predicted in a million years how connected
awesome it would be to be unemployed.
how connected I felt to that child, and how I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want to go back to work because I missed him so much during the day. So, and then sometimes I'd make a joke, like I'd call home to ask the nanny. I'd call home like 8, 10, 12 times a day to make sure Cooper was okay. And then I'd sometimes say to Daddy, how many times did you call home today to check in on Cooper? And it was like, huh?
Yeah.
Right? So but there are other women I know who go right back to work and can't wait to get back to work. So I don't think you necessarily know how you're going to respond to having children, and I don't think you know how you're going to respond to anything in life. So the whole point is it's one big roller coaster ride.
Yes. But what I was going to say something about, like, your purpose isn't necessarily to be happy.
As a
personally.
Parent?
Yeah, like once you become...
I disagree.
I know a lot of, like, comedians, for example.
Yeah.
That, I mean, and this isn't like I'm not saying this is a good thing, but, like, they will kind of avoid love and kids and family.
Because they're afraid it'll ruin their job.
They're afraid that once they have kids, they won't be driven to be successful anymore. And especially, like, the pursuit of comedy, it's a little bit of, like, a fucking... It's like a track that you get your mind on, where it's just like more success and more and more and more. And anything that feels good takes away from that track of ambition.
I have one word for those people.
Awesome.
Therapy. Okay? Because I would argue that the happier you are, the more successful you'll be in life. And I get that person because I was married to that person for a long time, who thought that all of his anxieties
were the positive things pushing him.
Exactly.
Yes.
And not the minute, but I kept saying, they may be pushing you really well in your career, but they're pushing me right out the door. So you got to deal with some of those anxieties. And I think he would even tell you today that having put many of them to bed is what has contributed to his huge success today. So I understand the fear of thinking, I don't want to mess with anything at all, because if I mess with anything, the whole recipe, is going to... Yeah, I get the thinking, but think about the life you're sacrificing in order to what? Maintain the norm, which isn't making you happy.
Right. Well, it's definitely a fallacy anyway, because the implication is like... It's the same thing that people, like, the idea of quitting in stand-up. It's, like, really frowned upon when you're in stand-up. But some people should quit.
Exactly.
Like, some people just should quit. And the fear is like, well, if I quit, I'll be giving up this thing I love. And it's like, well, no. In the world where you quit and you stay quit, it means you were drawn to something else. Like, you're not going to be sad once you're on the other side. But I think it's a fear of... Same thing with the kid. It's like... If you love a kid so much that you don't want to pursue your career as intently, that probably feels good. But you're afraid of that feeling because, because then you're not going to be so famous or whatever. I don't know what it is.
How's fame working out for you, bud?
It doesn't feel good. Whatever version of it I already have. It's not a very positive thing. But this we have to table for next time because we're out of time.
Okay. Tell me if you found this conversation interesting. I kind of found it interesting, and I kind of found it boring. So I'm just asking for some feedback here.
Okay. Well, I guess, listener, write in. Was this a boring episode? And, Mom, is there anything you want to plug?
Parenting. I'm plugging parenting today.
Be a parent.
Yeah.
Go out, fuck raw, no contraception, have kids, doesn't matter. If you love the person you're having the kids with, if you have enough money to support kids, have kids. Become a parent.
Okay.
Thank you guys for joining us.